Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Flat Tutorials, and this is How to Make a Car Game episode 17. And I'm really sorry for the delay of this episode because I've been busy because my exams were going on. I have to focus on that. So now I'm back, and I'll try my best to keep on uploading these episodes regularly. So yeah, I'm really sorry. So let's get started. Okay, so in today's episode, we're gonna create a skid mark system for our car. So it will gonna generate some burned rubber marks on the road while the car is skidding. Okay, so this is a pretty easy method, and there are two ways I know how to do that. And the first way is by creating a plane and applying a nice looking skid mark texture on it, and then instantiating that plane at every instant of time while the car is slipping. And the other way is to take two reference points on the wheel and generate the mesh by taking those two reference points. Okay, so both of these methods have their pros and cons, but the mesh generation method is really good, and I would really like to show you that one. So yeah, let's get started. And so let's get started. Okay, so first thing that you need to look at is this diagram. Okay, so in order to tell the computer to generate the mesh, basically in order to tell the Unity to generate the mesh, we need to tell it what are the vertices and how to join those vertices. Okay, so basically we're gonna generate a plane. So the plane is gonna be having 4 vertices, and these 4 vertices are gonna be something like this. So this is gonna be first vertex, this is gonna be second, then third, then fourth. Now if you look at the computer language, the Unity saves those vertices in an array. Now first element of array starts with 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, these are the values. Alright, now in the first point means the first vertex or the 0 onto the array. It means that 0 is equals to, first look at here. This is the hit point. I told you what hit point is. Hit point is a vector 3 position variable which holds the point or the position where the wheel collider collided with the ground, or a collider, or any type of collider. It could be anything. Okay, so this is the hit point. Now hit point have x, y, and z axes because it is a vector 3 position variable. Now I'm using x and z axes because if you look at the Unity has x and z axes as its horizontal system. So that's why I'm going to use x and z axes. And yeah, so if you look over to the point 0, the points we're going to tell the Unity where the point 0 is. So if you look at the hit point, we go in the positive direction of if we go in the positive direction of x-axis, then negative direction of z-axis, then we get the point 0 at a certain value. Okay, now it's similar to that. We will go to the negative x-axis, then we're gonna go negative z-axis. We'll get the point 1, and these two are also same, but except they have the positive z direction. Okay, so in the first when the first mark is going to generate, it will gonna use some default values to generate these marks. Now when the first mark is generated, we're gonna save these two values, 2 and 3, and we're gonna put these two values in the next mark, in the next marks 0 and 1 value. So these two 0 and 1 will going to be at the 2, 3 marks of the last mark. Okay, so it will gonna look like that the mesh is combined with each other, and it will gonna look really cool. It will not gonna look glitchy or bugged, and that's what we need. Okay, now if you look over here, that if we are using if you are replacing these two values, we don't really need the z value, because it will gonna automatically calculate the z value, because it will gonna draw a mesh from here to here with no reference points. It will gonna just take the variables and pull on the mesh. Okay, so we don't need x value, so we're gonna just put it as 0. And yeah, so let's just move on to our game, and let's start coding, and let's see the results. Okay, so first thing that we have to do is to open up the skidding script. That's what we have created in last episode, so just double click on it, and we're gonna open in a minute. Oh my god, my computer is really freaking me out. Okay, now let's just go ahead and create a variable. The first variable is gonna be mark width. Sorry, oh my god. Mark width, and it is gonna be not that float, which is gonna be equals to 0.01. No, 0.01, 0.1. You know what? Yeah, you know what? 0.2 would be good. Okay. Now we're gonna create another variable, which is gonna be skidding. This variable is gonna be integer, and this the default value will be 0. So, and this one is also gonna be a private variable. Now we're gonna create another private variable, which is gonna be our last position, and it is gonna be an type vector 3. You know what? Position is gonna be equals to new vector 3. Vector 3 is gonna be an array of 4. You know what? 2 would be good. Okay, now this variable is gonna hold is gonna be holding the saved values of 2 and 3 2 and 3 vertices, 2 and 3 points of the plane. You'll understand that in a minute. Okay, now this variable is gonna hold the value. It will gonna check if the skid mark is generating once, or it is generating after the first one is generated. Okay, and this mark width variable will gonna this will just gonna tell what the width of the mark is gonna be. Okay, now what we need is just to copy this whole line of code and paste it over here. Now just remove these 2 lines of code and remove this, and just go ahead and type skid, and just call the statement skid mesh, and just end the statement. Then in the else statement you'll need to type skidding is equals to 0. You'll understand that in a minute. Now just go ahead and create a function with the skid mesh, and now what you need to do is just go ahead and copy these 2 lines of code and paste it over here, so we have the hit defined. Now what we need is to create a variable, which is gonna be mark, and it is gonna be an type game object, which is gonna be equals to new game object, and object which with the string mark. Now what this line of code will gonna do, it will gonna create a empty game object in the word space at the point 0, 0, 0 with the rotation 0, 0, 0 with the size 1, 1, 1. Okay, so let's just go ahead and check it out. Oh, last pose, unexpected token. I guess I haven't tried variable. I know, I always do that. Okay, and now let's just go ahead and check it out. Okay, as you can see, we are going in the front, and as we flip, we have the generated mark empty game objects at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 with the rotation 0, 0, 0 and the scale 1, 1, 1. Okay, now let's just go ahead over here. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a variable which is gonna be the mesh filter. You know what? I just need to add the mark. Dot add component mesh filter, and we're gonna go ahead and add mark dot add component. I'm gonna add let's say a renderer. I'm gonna add the renderer, so it's gonna be mesh renderer. So we have the mesh renderer now onto the mark. Now what we need is 2 more variables. You know what, 3 more variables. So it's going to be, first variable is going to be the mesh, and you know what, mark mesh, and it is going to be a new mesh, and it is going to be an type mesh. Okay, so we have the mesh now, and it's going to be an type function. Okay, now we have the mesh. Now we need 2 more variables, which is going to be vertices. I guess TICS, and this is gonna be an of type. You know what? It is gonna be a new vector 3 because it is gonna be a position variable. These are the vertices, by the way. Okay, these are the vertices that we're gonna define, and it is gonna be having the 4, and then we're gonna create another variable which is gonna be triangles, and it is gonna be equals to new integer with 6, and I'll tell you what triangles is in a minute. And now we're gonna create a if statement, and we're gonna check if it is if the statement is we are generating the mark first time, or we are generating the mark after the first time. Okay, so let's just go ahead and type skidding is equals to 0. Then execute this line of code, else execute this line of code, which is which basically means else execute this line of code. Or if you now if you're gonna tell if this statement is already run, then set the skidding to 1. Means it don't have to run. We don't need to run this statement again and again. We just need to run this statement after that one. Okay, so now you can set this to at any number except for 0. Okay, now let's just go ahead and define the vertices. So first thing is vertices. This is gonna be first vertex is gonna be 0, and you know what, let's just go ahead. Now if you look at over here, you will understand that if you take the hit point as a reference and you will add some value on the x-axis to get the point 0, you will have a problem that where if you imagine if your car is turned 60 degrees on x-axis. Okay, if your car is turned 60 degrees on the x-axis and this point and if you add some values on the x-axis, it will gonna add that value, it will gonna calculate that value on the global x-axis. That will gonna create a problem, and it will gonna really look really messed up with the mesh, and that's what we don't want. So we want to calculate that point with respect to the rotation. So if the car is rotated, we still know the point on x-axis with the respect of rotation. Okay, so what we need to do is to just go over here, and we just need to go over here, and vertices is equals to hit dot point plus quaternion. We use quaternion dot Euler because we need a certain point. We need a certain point even after the object is rotated. Okay, so it is going to be having transform dot Euler angles dot x. I'm going to copy this whole thing, then I'm going to go ahead and go y. This is going to be y, and this is going to be the x, z, and then we're going to turn it to a vector 3, and this vector 3 is going to hold this value. Let me show you this value. Okay, so as you know, the 0 is going to be having a positive x value, and the z is going to be 0, and the z is going to be 0 because we don't really need, I told you that yz is going to be 0, so I'm not going to explain you that because it's going to take a time, and that sucks. Okay, so it's going to be positive x, so it's going to be mark width comma 0.01. Now I type I add a 0.01 on y-axis because I need mesh to float above the ground just a bit, so that it will not look creepy. Okay, now I'm gonna set the z to 0, and we have this statement. Okay, now we're gonna copy this whole statement, and we're gonna paste it over here 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now the first one is gonna first thing you have to do is to set this to 1, then this to 2. Sorry. I'm really sorry. This to 2, then this to 3. All right. Now what we need is to define these values. Okay. So if you look at the first point, this is here. First point, the x is negative. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and add x is negative. And we have the second point, x is negative, and third one is positive, so it's going to be negative, and this one is going to be positive. Okay, now what we need is to save the last positions. Okay, so in order to save the last positions, we just go ahead and we're going to type last pose, which is basically the variables that we have defined above. Over here, these are the variables. Last pose. We're gonna use this to save the vector3 variables. It's gonna be last pose 0, 0, and it is gonna be equals to vertices 2. All right, it is gonna be equals to 2, and the next one, which is the last pose 1, is gonna be equals to 3. So now we have these 2 positions saved. Okay, now this code will not gonna compile after once. Okay, so this will gonna compile only once when we start slipping. Okay, now we're gonna come here and we're gonna type vertices 1 is equals to last pose 0, end of the statement. Then we're gonna go vertices 0. This is gonna be last pose 1. Okay, so we have swapped the values. Okay, now what we need is to put on these statement as it is, because we want them to go as it is. Okay, so now we need to save these 2 points. We're gonna copy this code, and we are good to go. Okay, so now what we need is to set the vertices and meshes. So it is going to be mark mesh dot vertices is equals to vertices, end of the statement, then mark mesh mark mesh dot the triangles are not going to be here, so I'm going to go ahead. Triangles is equals to triangles. Alright, now we need to define the triangles. Okay, so it's going to be triangles triangles is equals to, okay, so what the triangles is, if you ever have created a plane, you will see that there is a point going diagonally, a line going diagonally, and that is the triangle which defines 2 faces. Okay, so we need to tell what the triangle is to the unity. So it is 0, 1, and then 2. Okay, so it is forming a triangle. 0, 1, and 2. It is forming a triangle, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type 0, 1, 2. Then if you go over here, you'll look at that 0, 3, 2, also forming a triangle. So we're going to use 0, 3, 2. 0, 3, 0, 3, 2, and we are good to go. Okay, so we have the triangles and vertices are set at their points. Now we need to tell the UV map of it. Okay, so we need to tell the UV map, so it's going to be variable UVM. I'm going to take the UV map variable and I'm going to set it to new, and I'm going to go ahead and sorry, I'm really sorry, vector 2, and sorry, it is going to be in box braces, because we are defining the value, so it's going to be mark mesh dot vertices, sorry, mark mesh dot vertices, vertices, vertices dot length. So this is gonna be, the length of it is gonna be equals to the vertices, how many vertices is present in the mesh. So let's just go ahead and check it out, and we have no errors. Okay, so yeah, this is really good. Okay, so let's just go ahead, and we need to just go ahead and create the UV map for it. Okay, so it's gonna be variable I is equals to 0, and I should be smaller than uvm.length, length, vmap.length, and we're gonna add a value to I at every loop. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna tell a UV map to UV map I, which is basically I, and UVI is gonna be equals to, I'm gonna set to vector 2 because it is having X and Z plane. Okay, so it's gonna be mesh, sorry, mark mesh dot vertices, sorry, oh damn it, sorry, vertices, we need to remove that, and it's gonna be I dot X. I'm gonna copy this whole thing, and I'm gonna then the Z, and I guess we'll still don't have any error. Yeah, we are good to go. Okay, so let's just open that one again. Okay, now what we need is to set the UV map of it. So it's going to be mark mesh dot UV is equals to UVM. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go mesh, I'm gonna set the mesh filter of that, so it's gonna be having mark dot mesh filter dot transform, I guess, transform dot mesh filter. Where the hell is mesh filter? Mark dot mesh filter is equals to sorry, mark dot mesh filter dot mesh is equals to mark mesh, end of the statement. And I think it should show up inside of Unity 3D if you don't have any error. We have an error. Mesh filter is not a member of Unity Engine game object. Mesh filter is not a member? Really? It is not a member. Or damn it. Let's say we're gonna create it as filter. We're gonna tell it to filter, and we're gonna set this one to mesh filter. We're gonna set this one to add component to mesh filter. Okay, let's see. Filter.mesh. It should be okay. Alright, now let's just go ahead and check that one out. Okay, so we're gonna just go ahead and you can see we have the marks going on. Oh my god, what the hell is wrong? It was created marks. What is going on? I don't know, I really don't know. It's a mark. Okay, it takes it to its origin. Let's see. Do I have any problem? Nope. It looks alright. I guess everything is alright. Okay, I'll be back when the problem is solved. So I'm stopping the video for a while. Okay, so okay guys, I've figured out what the problem is, and the problem is that I have set the last position 0 to 2, and I have set the last position 0 to 3. So I have used 0 2 times, and that's why it is messing up with the positions. So I'm gonna set this one to 1, and I'm gonna set this to 1 also. Okay, now let's just go ahead and look onto the game, and I hope sure that this will gonna work pretty fine. Okay, so let's just go ahead and slip. Great, we have a nice looking mesh generated with no problems. Okay, so yeah, that's what we need, and it looks pretty fine. And as you can see, it is better than that one because it has a really nice curves, and also it changes its shape according to the tires width, like you can see over here. It turns out to smooth because we are sliding by these wheels on right side. That's why. So it is more realistic than using a plane. Okay, so in the next episode I'm gonna show you how you can apply textures onto this mesh, and how you can yeah, and I'm gonna show you how you can generate the skid smoke. So when your color is gonna slip, the smoke is gonna generate, and that will gonna make this game look really nice and realistic. Okay, even though our car is a box car, so still this will gonna look cool. And sorry, I ran out of the memory. So this game will look really realistic in our later episodes. So this has been Flat Tutorials, and I'll catch you on my next episode. If you have any problems, you can always contact me on my Facebook page, and yeah, I'll try my best to solve your problem, and I guess you'll find there a guy who will put you in the right direction. Okay, so I'll catch you in my next episode. Thanks guys. And